Hello, everyone. Today we're going to discuss the Holy Quran and the relation with capitalism. The Holy Quran is the Muslims' book. With that, I'll turn the subject to my grandson, Tristan. Go ahead, Tristan.
All right, thank you. So today I wanted to make this video because it hosts two very important subjects to me, both the Quran and Islam, and its relationship to capitalism, and specifically what evidence I think there is in the Quran to say that Islam is inherently anti-capitalist. So if you don't know, I'm probably thinking of reverting to Islam sometime in the near future. So in that kind of journey of mine, I've picked up a copy of the Quran and I'm planning to read it all the way through. I'm almost done with it. But I found several pieces of evidence in the Quran that kind of tie Islam to being inherently anti-capitalist. And I wanted to share one of those pieces of evidence with you today. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. So evidence of the Quran and Islam as a whole being anti-capitalist shows up as early as page 43 of the Quran, specifically in Surah 3, verse 128. And that verse, that part of the Quran specifically states, "Believers do not live on usury, doubling your wealth many times over." Now, we can see here that, plainly, very clearly, that usury and acts of usury are, very clearly forbidden within Islam and forbidden in the Quran, right? So we can kind of take this information and we can kind of logic out, okay, we can use logic to say, okay, well, why is usury bad? Why is usury forbidden? Well, it's probably because usury is exploitative. And from this, we can probably say that, okay, other exploitative economic practices are, they ought to be forbidden as well. They're probably, forbidden as well. So we can kind of use this and tie this back to capitalism, which, if you're viewing it from Marx's view, is inherently exploitative. So capitalism is an economic system that's fundamentally based on the free ownership of private property, right? So to kind of explain quickly how Marx said that capitalism is exploitative, we'll just go over like a quick example of it. So let's say that you're like a business owner, you're a CEO of like some business or whatever. So that means that you own the means of production, and the means of production are basically the things that people use to create products that you sell on the market as a CEO or a business owner or whatever. So let's say you're a CEO and you're a business owner and you privately own the means of production in your business. And then you hire people to work with these means of production and produce things with these means of production. You then take the things that these people make with their means of production that you own, and then you sell it on the market. And you sell that, that product on the market for a price. And then somebody buys that thing, and you, as the business owner, you now receive money from that, product being sold. So this is a very, very reductive example of how capitalism works, but we're going to go more in depth about it with, this kind of extension. So Marx said that this is inherently exploitative because even though the money gains from selling that product or selling that, object on the market is given back to the employees in the form of a paycheck, it's only given back in a portion. So the employees don't receive the full profit of their labor. Instead, a portion of that labor, a portion of that profit made from that labor goes to the CEO or the business owner. And obviously that's because they need to reinvest that into the business, reinvest that, so that they can keep the business alive and keep the business going, right? Like if the business owner didn't gain any money from the product being sold, obviously the business would, it wouldn't exist for too long. It would fall pretty fast. So the business owner must keep a sum or a portion of the money gained from selling that product. And what he does is he uses that money to reinvest that into the means of production. So basically he buys more means of production in order to, have more people, more spots to hire more people. So then therefore he can get more surplus value, get more profits that he can use to reinvest again and again and again and again and again, right? For infinity, if we're looking at this from a theoretical standpoint, right? So the reason why this is exploitative is because the business owner didn't actually produce the product that made the money. The employees did. He didn't, have any part in producing that product. All he did is he gave the employees the means of production and he said, get to it. So He did not produce the product. He had no hand in producing that product. It was all the employees, yet he still took some of the employees' money that was produced by the product that the employees made. So that's why capitalism is inherently exploitative according to Marx. So we ought to say here that, okay, if we're thinking logically about this, if usury, which is an economic practice that's pretty exploitative, is forbidden, then we ought to say that because it's forbidden, because it's exploitative, then capitalism ought to be forbidden too, because it is again inherently an exploitative system according to Marx, and it does again allow people to double their money over and over and over via exploitation, which here again in the Quran is explicitly denounced and explicitly forbidden. And that's because, the business owner keeps reinvesting his profit into the reproduction and the means of production over and over and over and over again. So that would pretty much wrap up the subject and wrap up the video as a whole. I know this was a long one, but for those of you that watched till the end, thank you. We appreciate it. So, see you in the next video.
Thank you.